folks, we're going to shoot it through the chronograph and see what kind of speed we get without the Bow Turbo. Then we're going to get the Bow Turbo, and Steve and Bernard are going to really walk us through the concept of the Bow Turbo. Then we're going to shoot it with it on and see really what kind of performance we get out of it, which I expect it's going to really put some zip on it from a speed and kinetic energy standpoint. So let's see what we can get here.
Yeah, we got the 2009 Alpha Max, 70 pounds, 29-inch draw, 360 grain shaft. We're going to shoot it to the chronograph first, get a speed reading, install the turbo, and see what we gain.
Clear?
Yep.
300.1.
300.1.
So now what we'll do is install the turbo, shoot it again, and see what we get.
All right.
First of all, the turbo is very simple to install. What you do is just remove your existing cable slide. We're going to start it off in what we call the standard position. What you want to do is you remove your existing cable slide, slide the turbo on, and you want the axle of the turbo just slightly ahead of the front cable, or the most forward cable, and just snug it up. We'll get it all centered in a second. I'm trying to get it square to the riser. Like I say, axle of the turbo slightly ahead of the cable.
Don't forget to check the screws in the riser, Steve, as well.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you check the factory settings on the screws for your cable bar in the bow, so it doesn't pull out. What's called the safety leg here. What you want to do is just push your cables into the roller. Loosen the screw on your safety leg. Slide it forward. Got it. And lock your leg back in place. Now in this bow, since we're shooting a drop away rest, as you know, when you normally draw a bow back, the cable's transferred back. And we've locked the cables in place, which is going to preload the limb a little bit more and change the angle and strings of cables. That's where we're going to gain our speed from. But now since the cables are not transferring back as far, we're going to have to shorten the cord up on the drop aways to make sure it picks it all the way up, which is on this rest is another good thing that I like about this rest right here. It's very simple to do. But on all drop aways, if you're shooting the drop aways and then you install the turbo, you'll have to retime the rest, which is very, like I say, very quick and easy to do. What you do is just want to shorten the cord up some. On the ultra rest, you just loosen that screw right there and slide the cord forward a little bit more. Lock it back in place. Up a little higher. That's good. .6. So we picked up 14.
So we picked up.
And that's in the standard position. Now, if you want to creep it forward a little bit, I mean, we can definitely gain more speed.
Okay.
How'd that feel?
Feel great.
Can you tell the difference in the firmness of the wall when you drew it back, when you got anchored in?
I can.
I don't know if you can tell it on the audio or not, but inside the building here, it's kind of hard to tell. But definitely outside, there's a noticeable difference in the quietness of the bow as well,
Yes.
because you're taking the cable oscillation out. So it's definitely going to quieten the bow down too. The farther you push it forward, if you push it all the way up to the extreme, you may start gaining a little bit of weight, draw weight, but your speed is going to drop tremendously. I mean, we've pushed it forward and picked up 40 or 50 foot, but you're going to pick up a little bit more weight on the draw length and possibly a little bit of draw length. So we recommend putting it in the standard position to start.
Yep, that makes sense. And so we last hit at 316, right, Steve?
314 and some change.
314 and some change.
314.6.
So we picked up 14 feet a second.
Still on the chronograph now.
Yeah.
That looks good. It's 318.4.
So you picked up another 4.
Yeah.
Yep. So we went from 300 to 318.4.
Almost 20 foot a second.
Pretty strong.
Mhm.
Pretty strong. And quietness on top of that.
Yes.
So,
Quietness
Yep.
with a firmer wall. For a guy who shoots back tension is really going to appreciate that firmer wall.
Yeah.
And it just basically helps to teach you good form because it keeps you from creeping. It keeps you up against the back of the back of the valley.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like you say, now you can turn the bow down maybe 7-8 pounds
Yeah.
and still shoot the original speed.
If you want to increase your tip weight, like
Go to a
we went-
heavier shaft
we
and a
went
heavier
from
broad edge.
72 foot-pounds of kinetic energy to almost 80 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. But now, if you wanted to, you could put a 125 grain head on here instead of 100, and up your kinetic energy even more, and still shoot 300 foot a second. So there's all different advantages.
There is, and you just mentioned one thing in reference to kids, and you all want to get your children involved, and sometimes they just may not be able to pull a bow back to ethically harvest an animal, and this may give them an
Just
opportunity
that
to
gives
get
them that edge.
that edge and that confidence and the ability to get in the woods and hunt maybe a year or two earlier than they would, just because they're physically not able to pull that bow back that they normally would.
On those hunts.
all right, folks, we're here with Steve again. What we want to do is just show you the different variations that Steve's actually come up with. We got this red anodized aluminum bow turbo that Steve's installed on my bow. I've been shooting it for a while. I actually turkey hunted with this year several times. Was highly impressed. I killed 2 nice birds with it on here. Both of them on video, so hopefully we'll get to see that. And but what we want to do, I'm actually shooting a 28.5 inch Alpha Max 32, and I've swapped it out to a red one to match my strings and everything else. And that's the best thing about the color. Anybody can match anything they want to. But what I want to do, I'm actually shooting this Alpha Max 32, and this is actually an 80-pound bow. So I think we're pushing about 84 pounds now, the way we got this thing set up. And just to pick up a little bit more speed. I've always shot 80 pounds since I was 16 years old. Just want to continue the tradition, I guess. So I'm just going to show y'all one time just the difference, what you can actually do by picking up speed, the bow turbo, and poundage on the bow. So we'll try it one time right here and see what, here we go, guys.
Come in, you'd be expecting them today.
All right. 326.3.
326.3 there.
I just wanted to take a few moments and give folks a chance to really hear from the founders and the inventors of this product. And so if you wouldn't mind, just walk folks through really why you came up with the product, and then really for me personally, as somebody who didn't know a lot about the bow turbo, is how does it work, the technology behind it, and really what could somebody expect from the bow turbo as far as increased speed and kinetic energy and things of that nature. And then finally, how can somebody find you guys and know where to purchase this product?
Okay, well, as you've seen, it was a significant increase. I mean, we took from 300 foot a second to from 301 to 318, which is huge benefits in several different ways. I've been in the archery industry for about 25 years now, and owner of a pro shop on Horse National Shooting Staff and pro staff, and done pretty well in the tournament archery myself. Bernard is an international world champion, and we just got to brainstorm one day. It's like, how can we, what can we do to speed a bow up to make it a little bit more quiet? I mean, make the bow more efficient. And I got to thinking, and there's a lot of other roller guards out there on some of the other manufacturers' bows. But the good thing about this one is it's tunable. It will fit any bow with a standard 3/8 cable guard. Martin, Hoyt, Bowtech, Matthews, doesn't matter. If it's got a cable bar on it, it'll fit it. And the advantages to our roller versus a lot of other ones that are on the market, they're stationary. This one's tunable. As you've seen at first, we put it on. Right. We gained 13 foot. We moved it forward a little bit more and picked up another 4 or 5 foot. I mean, so you can get what you want to out of it.
And it quieted it down a little bit too, just in that incremental moving the roller up.
Yeah, and so there's all different types of advantages to it. I mean,
it was actually quite funny because I walked into the store, and at the time I was helping Steve out in the store, and Steve came to me and said, man, he says, look at this bow and look at that bow. And we had a look at the rollers on the Matthews and on the Bowtech, and Steve said, man, if we could come up with something like that. I said, okay, Steve. I sat down and made up a set of drawings. I think I did 4 or 5 different designs.
Okay.
I'd say within the first maybe 2 hours, and I'd been just piddling on a piece of paper, and I said to Steve, I'll see you later. And I hopped into the truck and went on down the road to somebody that had a machine shop, and we took a set of rollers off one of the bows so that we could obviously, have a set of rollers on whatever I was going to come up with. And within 24 hours, I phoned Steve. Steve done left the store the day after, and I said to him, "You better get back to the store." I said, "Because I got a working prototype." And like I said, I mean, that day it'll be so vivid in my mind. I mean, we had bows spread out all over the store. Yeah, every bow we could get our hands on, we put it through the chronograph.
Now, where can folks go? I mean, I believe you have a website that they can go and get more information, see some videos and things of that nature. Where can they go?
You can go to boturbo.com. Something else I'd like to say is, me and Steve have spoke about it. We'd like to also, we'll be putting it up on the website very soon, is to run a African hunt for the biggest whitetail buck shot in the United States this year, officially measured, and they'll have a 8-day hunting trip to Africa next year as the #1 whitetail deer shot in America.
Well, with the bow turbo.
Yeah, obviously with our product.